Hi, I'm Dr. Mark Whitfield, Assistant Director of Athletic Bands and Instructor of Low Brass at North Carolina State University. As a teacher, when it comes to developing a sense of musicality in my students, whether in front of a large ensemble or in individualized applied instruction, there's four basic things that I find myself saying in every rehearsal, in every lesson, to every student that I've ever worked with. So I figured it would probably be a good idea to put these things down in a video for reference for my students and anybody else who might be interested. If you find this video remotely helpful, feel free to leave a comment, like and subscribe, do all the things, and let's jump into the rules. One quick caveat. You should already be familiar with the piece of music that you're working on. These guidelines aren't meant to change the composer's intentions. They don't change the ink on the page. So you should already know the notes, the rhythms, the dynamics, the articulations, all of the ink that the composer has on the page. You should already be familiar with that. These guidelines are meant to help you strengthen your musical ideas after you're already familiar with the piece of music. Now, let's jump right in. Suggestion number one is to allow your dynamics to follow the contour of the melodic line. As the line goes up, you can get a little louder. As the line goes down, you can get a little bit softer unless it's otherwise marked in the music. This is especially effective in long sections where you might have one or two dynamic markings, no crescendos or decrescendos or anything like that, and the composer's marked espressivo or dolce or some other Italian term that really kind of puts it on the performer to interpret the musicality of the line. Suggestion number two is to lean into any harmonies that are outside the key. More often than not, these are going to be marked by accidentals, so really lean into your accidentals. They color the music in a different way, they change the harmony in a way that the listener's not expecting, so you really want to lean into those instead of shying away from them. Suggestion number three is long notes and repeated ideas need to go somewhere. So anytime you're sitting on a long note, especially when you're playing a solo, give it some vibrato, give it a crescendo, maybe back away, give it a decrescendo, whatever seems the most musically appropriate to you in the moment. That'll be much more engaging for the listener than if you just sit on whatever the marked dynamic is on the page. Repeated ideas fall into the same category. You almost want to treat it like public speaking. If you're going to say the same thing, if you're going to say the same thing, if you're going to say the same thing, it gets really monotonous really fast and can be really boring. So if you're going to repeat something, If you're going to repeat something, do something different with it every time to keep the listener engaged. Do something musically engaging with it, and it's far more interesting to listen to. This works for repeated melodic ideas, repeated rhythmic ideas. They can happen consecutively, they can happen non-consecutively. So that melodic idea that comes up in the beginning of your solo and then happens again at the end, you want to bring the listener full circle on that and say, hey, you remember that thing that I did at the beginning of the solo? I'm going to do it again, but I'm going to do it a little bit differently, so check it out. Suggestion number four is a little bit more abstract in nature. The great tuba player Roger Bobo said that there's only two types of music, right? Love songs and pirate songs. So you want to go through your music by movement, by section, by phrase. Sometimes the character of a piece of music changes from phrase to phrase. And figure out, is this movement, is this section, is this phrase a phrase of a love song or a phrase of a pirate song? And you want to play it accordingly. And you want to exaggerate those character differences. If you can do that, you'll make everything that you play super engaging.